Wargaming's Halloween mode is back on World of Tanks, and today's video is going to cover all of the update news for the update that was released today. So let's get into it and you guys will hopefully enjoy. So first things first, what is this new game mode, or at least game mode that we get every single year? Well, it is the Monster Mash Halloween themed game mode, and these come in the form of basically, it used to be Himmelsdorf, but I actually think that they've changed. Never mind, it is still Himmelsdorf, so no actual new real content. But regardless of that, yes, the new Monster Mash will be played on Himmelsdorf. It's kind of like a scary themed version of the map, and it is Grim Graveyard or Dead City, so there are two maps that you can actually play on. So I'm assuming one of them is, of course, Himmelsdorf. The other maybe even looks like some form of map like Prokhorovka or something like that. It might be. But of course, you guys can let me know in the comment section down below if you've already played it. We will be playing it at some point, so showcasing some of the monster tanks, kind of which ones are good and how you can play them. But regardless, this game mode is all about playing and earning some Commander XP whilst doing it. So what do you know about Monster Mash battles? Well, there's 2 times Commander XP. Tanks can use any commander you want. Matches are 7 versus 7, and ammo is free, repairs are free, free XP can't be earned, silver can be earned, vehicle XP can be earned as well. You can use consumables, but will pay to resupply them, so that's literally the only cost you're going to be using in these games, and they cannot be customized with camo emblems, inscriptions, or flags, and awakened monster tanks cannot be resold either. So, is there anything new for Monster Mash 2022? And yes, of course, you've seen the 3 new maps that we've actually seen, and these have been kind of changed with new powers, I guess. They've got couple of different things. You can see them here. These are the different tanks. You've got the Death Chariot, you've got the Arachnid, and then of course the Asterion. All of them have their own powers, but previously, the team was going to implement balance changes to several of the legacy monster tanks, but they basically didn't bother. So what do you get with Awakened Death Chariot? Main gun scythes, 2 shells, AP and HE, and scythe traces for each shell. Secondary weapons are skulls, so they're skulls. They float above the tank, and they basically are like homing missiles that go in and they just shoot at people, I guess. And then the green skulls are a 5-round autoloader that can basically be fired one after the other. So looking forward to jumping in the Death Chariot and giving it a go on this new mode, as I'm sure some of you are as well if you did decide to pick it up. Now there is the Awakened Arachnid as well, so this is the tank that can launch itself upwards and jump over obstacles or enemies by activating Handbrake. With its jump ability, take trick shots, dodge incoming attacks, or land on enemy tanks for extreme damage. Uses standard AP and HE with its menacing mandibles gun module, so yeah, could be interesting. Definitely going to be the one that I enjoy the most, I think, just purely because it can launch itself across the map, so I'm looking forward to that. Then we've got the Awakened Asterion. This is the Minotaur looking one, and it has the ability to ram its enemies at top speeds, causing massive damage. The head on the ram can also send their enemies flying, so interesting. Uses standard ammo, AP and HE with its gun, and do you get anything inside special from the Monster Mash? And basically it's literally just getting ×2 Commander XP, and it can also earn monster drops by playing in the Monster Mash, and the drops are like usually like you can get yourself a confidential keycard if you're like super lucky, but mostly it's like silver, and some like boosters and stuff like that is usually what you can get. If you don't have any monster tanks, you can play the Spectre, which is like a super fast tier 6 medium that just basically riots around the game, and it's like super quick, and you can basically become invisible at some periods of time. That's kind of its like a bonus, I guess, compared to some of the other ones. Obviously the Monster Mash game mode is interesting. but it's kind of less interesting that they're basically just the same maps that we've had previously. So yeah, it would have been nice to see some different ones, but there you go. That's just what happens with wargaming sometimes, at least on console. So other than that, what have we got? Well, we've got the new contract available as well. So this is for the tier 7 big top medium, and it comes with a standard commander as well. So you basically, as with all of the mercenary contracts, have to complete stages. These ones are up to stage 8, and in order to be able to pick up this tier 7, you're going to have to be grinding out about 600,000 XP in total over the course of all of the stages, along with picking up some decent boosters that you can pick up along the way, and of course some silver along the way as well. And then at the final stage, being at stage 8, the big top itself, which is the tier 7. I don't think this tank is awful. It's probably not OP either, so it's going to be one of those kind of mediocre tanks that you're not really going to have to worry all too much about if you do decide to jump in and give it a go. But yeah, other than that, what else have we got? Well, this is the bestiary, I guess, and we can go through each of the kind of skills that all of these tanks have got. But I'll give you a brief overview. Basically, Spectre, as we talked about, it's an invisible one. Then you've got the Lycan T-71, which is it's an oscillating turret. The power is that finishes loading its ammo, it enters Lycan mode, it receives an enormous boost to its speed, handling, rate of fire, and accuracy. Then you got the Craft Panther, which basically can literally go invisible when it's not moving. The Craft Panther appears as a destroyed tank and doesn't reveal its position. Now, this sounds really rubbish, but actually it's like super OP in the game mode. Then you've got the Goronich, which can basically breathe fire. I mean, it has a flamethrower on it. Pretty cool. Kaiju OI has the Mega Monster form. The Kaiju OI shoots lightning fast electrical bolts and releases a fiery breath as well. Then we've got the Type 62, or the Dragon Type 62. It can teleport around the map using portals, which, I mean, it's kind of interesting in itself. Then you've got the Hollenhund, or the Hellcat, which is, or the Hellhound, I should say, which is that it loses with every bit of health the Awakened Holland loses, its ferocity increases, so you get better reload, aim time, and handling. So yeah, it's just basically gets better as it loses health. So I mean, it's not that good. Bog Horror, which is the mutant. This one has ensnaring shell ammo traps that basically you fire at them and then they like slow down, they can't move, they can't do anything. Then you've got the Wraith Panzer 58, which has uncanny life leech ability, so you can steal people's health. So every bit of damage it does to an enemy allows it to leech life from that tank, so it's pretty good. Then you've got the Chimera, which can which has like 3 different things, which is that it has 3 lives, each with its own abilities. The first one has quick repairs and intense ramming power. Then the second one has gains in engine power, turret rotation, and camo. And then you get fearsome piercing ability and relentless reload time. So that's also pretty good. The next one is the Centurion Mark 5/1 RAAC. So, I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it can have Impaler, so it basically launches people with a spear. You've then got Force Push, which is that spear that kind of pushes them away, and then another one which pulls them towards you. So this is kind of the meme of the lot, so you can really annoy people with this tank. Then you've got the Fangula, which is essentially the same one that you get with the kind of, what's it called? I can't remember now. The like the spider one that we've got, the Arachnid. It's literally the same tank, except it doesn't have the stupid spider. And you can decimate its enemies in several ways. It comes with 2 types of ammo to unload: Crimson Fangs and Boiling Bursters HE. But if you prefer to give opponents an unforgettable ending, press the handbrake to jump in the air and come crashing down on your opponent. So that's kind of what it is. Then we've got the Dread Dozer. So this is the Ram Panzer. This one has a blade that you can basically use to ram your opponents and send them flying through the air, or send your enemies off in a more traditional way by firing the unique Toxic Spikes or Muck Bomb. Interesting. Then the Creature, which was last year's kind of feature, which has the ability to like kind of launch this area of effect damage, which comes down like a load of chain of lightning onto enemies in its path. So that's kind of good, but I don't think that this tank was particularly amazing in that game mode. And then the Death Chariot, which is the first of this one, where it comes with the Awakened by heat-seeking missiles, which is cool. The Arachnid is pretty much the same as the Fangula, and then the Asterion, which is pretty much the same as the Dread Dozer as well. So pretty boring tanks, other than the Death Chariot, which is kind of the newest of them all. Now then, what else do we have this week? Well, obviously, with all of these going on, you've then got some challenges and events where you can earn some XP boosters and silver boosters, and it's literally a repeatable kind of thing that you can do 3 times a day, and you can earn 10,000 or more XP in any number of battles, and you'll get some XP boosters and silver boosters, and you can do that 3 times, so effectively 3 lots of 3 times XP boosters and 3 lots of 2 times silver boosters, which is nice. And premium bonus is coming to the game as well, so if you're going towards the Maus, which is the heavy tank line for the German line, the tier 10, you'll get 50% more XP and silver when you play from tier 5 and upwards. And then the Japanese medium line as well, going up to the STB1, will also get 50% more vehicle XP and silver boosters as well. And then the Eastern Alliance for up to the Type 90-2, which is the heavy tank, that will also get plus 50% XP and silver, so really good time to play these tech tree vehicles as well. So yeah, take of that what you will. The final couple bits is that there is a new 3D hero commander, which I'm sure some of you will be laughing at. Of course, it's a winged person that basically looks like a Valkyrie from, I don't even know, the Norse religion or mythology, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a meme at this point, what we're getting. But yeah, it's a woman with wings. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that, but nonetheless, let's move on to the developer stream, which they released some information about last week's releases, which were the Death Chariot, the Arachnid, and the Asterion. The Arachnid's actually the worst performing, apparently, even though I thought it was probably the better of them all, although the Asterion's really good. The Death Chariot coming in at second place with 53% wins, and the Asterion with 54.5% wins, bearing in mind that people just genuinely don't know how to pen it. Just go for the turret of this thing. Everyone's going for the hull, which has that massive slab of spaced armor which you can't pen, so just go for the turret or the turret ring, and you'll be able to basically go through without any troubles. New Halloween commander was the Grim Reaper, and also a few other things that we could complete along with the daily the challenge where you can get the Halloween tanks, so you can pick one of them. You just have to go through and make sure that you pick the one that you actually want. When you've got the points for it, you can do that in the season challenges or the more challenges section of the game when you have a look. And then of course this week we've got tanks for free XP as well, so you can pick up some premium tanks for free XP if you really want to. Nothing too special, but the key thing about this is the upcoming changes. So premium tech tree changes from November 1st. They'll be making some select premium World War II tanks unavailable for purchase in the premium tech tree, so they'll be doing it in waves over the next several weeks. The first wave on November 1st will include tanks from tiers 9 to and tiers 10, but rest assured that will give you time to get your hands on these vehicles, and any vehicle being made unavailable will be on sale the week leading up to the removal, so you can have a look at those if you want to pick them up. But I believe that will be the only one. So yeah, other than that, there's the competitive scene going on. Our community team has been working hard to help support the competitive scene, especially those tournaments held by you, the players. That comes with sponsorship too. So during the Order 66 tournament, we'll be sponsoring a multitude of prizes which come with keycards, premium time, Wargaming approved emblems, gold or premium tank of choice up to tier 8/era 2, and they'll be removing silver cost of custom games from next weekend until later in November. So that's really, 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 really good. And yeah, it's really definitely something beneficial for people wanting to do some competitive side of World of Tanks. I myself will definitely not be joining. It's just not my kind of thing. World of Tanks on console is definitely not a competitive game, even if you want to try and make it out to be. Yeah, it's just not at all. It's such a casual game at this point. Then we've got of course, the podcast. If you didn't see my post on the community tab of the channel, Ricky Tiki Tave has been actually doing a podcast with Bam, which was one of the lead game designers for the game. So you can actually check that out on YouTube, or just go to the community tab on my channel by clicking my channel, then community, and then you'll see the actual link to that video there. Of course, here are some of the pictures that you can see of the new map and stuff like that. If you haven't already, just flicking through them, you can pause the video at any time if you want to have a more in-depth look. But yeah, looking pretty kind of cool. And then the questions and answers from this week. So, any plans to rearrange modules in Cold War tanks? No, is basically the answer. With no World War II lines coming this year, can we expect Cold War tanks for the rest of this year? In the next season, there was a new tank for both modes. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I guess that they'll both be premiums, but there we go. Why can't we just change out one perk instead of all of them? There is a ticket to look at this, but it's low priority for now. It should definitely be in the game to be able to swap just one perk out without having to pay 90 gold. It's just a joke at this point. Can we get some kind of ranking system, like ranking up our profiles? We had conversations about this, sort of a career progression, but no definitive news. We will revisit this in the future. That would be kind of cool as well. I definitely am liking this sort of stuff. Anything that is like progression, where you can complete it for like a title or like an emblem or some sort of customization, that would be cool. When will we get drones in Cold War? No plans to add them. I'm looking forward that is the thing. Can we please have a random button that selects any tank in our garage to play? We do not have that request ticket in, and it's a fun idea, but this will be low priority over UI improvements. Can we lower the RNG in matches? We do have a ticket out for this. Guys, the RNG on console is actually not bad. As much as you might hate me for that, it's genuinely nowhere near even as bad as the PC version of the game. And actually, like, probably 95% of the time, if you actually aim fully, like, your shell will actually go where you aim. Maybe more so in Cold War, it can be a pain when you're like looking like, I don't know, miles away, up to like literally miles away. But other than that, like, the RNG is not actually that bad. Granted that there is RNG on accuracy, damage, and penetration. I don't think it's that bad. When is Corellia being released? The beginning of November. Is there any reason why the Jamaican flag emblem was removed? It's just a bug. Why have you never made a Frankenstein Merc tank? It's a cool idea, and who knows, maybe something next year for Halloween. I mean, that is kind of cool. And considering this year's ones, I'd be very much up for literally anything at this point other than what they released this year. Can we start getting vouchers for hero skins? We do have skins available in the seasons, but I like that idea. What's the chance of making maps period correct? Feels wrong playing World War II tanks with jets flying overhead. I believe you're referring to Hellfire Pass, but this is low priority. Literally, it's a visual thing. There's genuinely no point at this point. I'd rather have the map in the game than not have the map in the game because of that. So, yeah, I get what they're saying here. Other than that, there's a few other content changes as well, which is your boosters, etc. The weekend deals are including the Tiger 217, so you could have saw that, and the HMH, but the personal offers are the M50 Ontos, the Diamondback, and the IS-5, which are all pretty okay tanks. Nothing too major, but yeah, pretty nice. other than that, hello everyone. Today we published an article. Yep, so this is the Rikki Tikki Taave podcast, so I highly recommend you go and check it out. Other than that, I hope you did enjoy this video. Yes, I am kind of better, a little bit. Still not 100%. If you did see my post on the community tab, obviously, I did end up with the thing that no one ever wants, especially after the last 3 years. First time having it, but yeah, it was not nice last week, which is why you haven't seen any videos recently. And yeah, we'll be back up to schedule, releasing every day for however long it is until I get ill or take a break. But there we go. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Other than that, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to check out some of those Monster Mash new tanks that were released last week on the channel and on screen right now. Hope that you'll join me there, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.